All right, welcome back, baseball fans. We're saying goodbye to Cinderella. What a nice little run they gave us. Really was the pick-me-up for the Fall League. The incredible, improbable, from sweeping the Dodgers to end the season, knocking the Dodgers out, to getting into the playoffs as a wild card. Randy Jones, one-man show, beating J.R. Richard and the Astros to win the wild card game. Then it continued into Cincinnati, shocking the Strat-O-Matic world by sweeping. They didn't just win that series, they swept the Reds 3 straight, the height of their powers and beyond. Cincinnati Reds. Devastating series. And then only to be swept by the Phillies in 4 pretty close games, but the Phillies didn't make the same blunders the Reds did. The Padres could not close the action. And it's taken this long to finally eliminate the Padres. So, how optimistic is it moving forward? Well, it'll be interesting. A little bit of this and a little bit of that, as I like to say. Because they are the Padres, and they're going to have their familiar foibles. But they still have some good players in the pipeline. So let's see. In step 1, we take their 76 guys out. And one of those 76 guys is his best year. I think we all know who that might be when we get into that discussion. But we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well, who do they go with to excite their fans moving forward? So, they are going to bring back, is it going to be the predictable 7 and 5, which most teams usually do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it is 7 and 5. 7 hitters and 5 pitchers. That's the best ratio to have some balance in the draft. So Gene Richards comes back, a guy who should be a DH but can play the outfield and first base and hits lefties fine. He's your everyday player. Very versatile in that regard. They have Skaggs, a very surprisingly good performance for this guy. Not many people have heard of him. He had a -1 arm in 77 and limited playing time for the Orioles, and he can hit both ways. How about that? Orioles didn't want him. You have Ozzie Smith at short, Chalk at third, Ozzie Smith at short. Grubb, Jones, and Bonds can be your outfield. So you're set, really, with 7 pretty much everyday players. You know? So you're just putting window dressing on this thing. Not bad. Not really bad. Now let's look at the 5 pitchers. I mean, could these guys really continue to surprise out west? I mean, they're up against it. They're up against the Dodgers. They're up against the Astros. They're probably better than the Giants. But as far as pitching goes, they have Foucault at the back, and Shirley and Kip Young. You really ideally want to keep your relief 5s and 4s in the bullpen instead of the rotation. So you've got 3 righties in the bullpen, and a lefty and a righty, and only Shirley can rotate here, 214. So that's not bad. It's not bad at all, really. You'd be surprised. Most teams would take that 12 guys, and for the Padres, they surely will take it. But who goes away and who comes back? Well, this is the last you'll see for a while of the Cy Young Randy Jones card. Got to mention it once again. He ended up 9-1. The only loss was to the Phillies in the National League Championship Series. And this was a 22-win card in 76 and 315 innings. Now you know the story of Randy Jones. It was fully put on display in a Strat-O-Matic league for once. So congratulations to the Randy Jones story being told. And could you imagine if he was a member of any of these other teams we mentioned, the Reds or the Pirates or the Phillies, Dodgers, if they had Randy Jones on their roster, what those teams could have done. Al Downing is getting a little long in the tooth. Fry Slavin, it's probably his best card, his 76 card, maybe. Mike Hegan's getting up there in age. Ashby doesn't do a whole lot. Enzo Hernandez, they don't need him anymore with Ozzie. Gaston's getting up there. And Tyson, I tell you, what a year he had at second base. 286, but boy, look, these extra base hits were just banging these things, the triples, the doubles. We hit these extra base hits all year. A 2 at second base, a guy who was just sitting there as a waiver claim. That's a heck of a waiver claim. But unfortunately, can he do this again, Mike Tyson? I don't think so. I think this was his Mike Tyson's best year. So it could be that we have a mixed bag of these 8 guys to figure out moving forward. So let's see what the Padres decide to do. Okay, let's start with the hitting and then the pitching here and see really how much can the Padres, how much damage can they cause in this National League West? Because that would really turn things upside down. Alan Ashby, wearing an Astros hat here, and with Ashby, he's 24 years old with that 76 card. Not much, really. He has a good 78 year with Toronto. He does have a 77 card, so he qualifies for waivers and not much else. I think he can do better. So we'll waive Alan Ashby. Worst case, he'll be out there to re-sign. So Padres. Sorry about that. Ashby. Next up is Cito Gaston. I think Cito is going to be... Yeah, he'll play 77, 78. I don't think they're very good years, though. Well, actually, 70 does he qualify for waivers in 77 with his 271 card? Not sure about that. That would be with the Braves, right? I don't think he qualifies. I gotta check this out. So we go to superds.tripod.com/SOMrostersHTML. Plug in that site for this incredible resource of the roster sheets, and we're looking for the 77 Braves to see if they have Cito Gaston, if Strat-O-Matic made the card, not in the major 20, and then when you look at the extra players, see, no, he didn't really play enough. We go back to here. So in 77, this 271 card would have been a nice card to make. Strat-O-Matic didn't make it. So he might have a 78 card, which wouldn't qualify for waivers, isn't good anyway. So that means we're going to have to retire Cito Gaston. So we'll go into the retirement bin. Next up is Mike Hegan. Looking pretty much like the same kind of thing here. So Hegan with Milwaukee, nice little run there. Bounced around, good candidate to be on a expansion team because he plays on so many different teams here. But he's at the end of his rope. 70-70, it's 170. No need for that. Congratulations, Mike Hegan. You can enjoy retirement now. Got a nice little career there. Moving forward, how many Enzos are there? Only one. His last name's Hernandez. And there he is with a Padre hat on. Played most of his career there, finished up with the Dodgers with a couple at-bats. So you see he only had a couple at-bats in 77 and 78 and didn't get a hit in either year as he makes the retirement list. So Enzo Hernandez is retired. So now you see they're going to have to make some moves in the offseason to get rid of one of these retired guys and get a keeper or a waiver. Last hitter, Mike Tyson. This is going to be tricky too. I don't think you want to keep this guy, frankly. Had a great run, Mike. A great postseason. Really helped this Padre team get to the League Championship Series with that incredible 76 card of extra base hits. You see 12 doubles, 9 triples. I mean, he had 9 triples in 264 plate appearances. Wow. Not the type of guy you think would do that. 3 home runs. Great performance. He does qualify for waivers. And beyond that, I don't think he's worth keeping. I mean, this is where you gotta make a business decision here. I mean, your heart says bring him back, but let's put him on waivers. Chances are he'll pass through waivers and you can bring him back anyway. So they got him on the phone. They got his phone number and they said, don't call us, we'll call you. Next up is, of course, the dude, Randy Jones. basically the star of the Fall League. Here he is. Padres, how many All-Star appearances? 75 and 76. He won 20 both years. And then after that, it starts to be mixed bag here. He's got a great 78, and that'll be the card they probably renew, because 77 he struggled. So 78 and 79 will probably be his last 2 years with the Padres. He goes as a keeper, of course. So 1 keeper, 2 waivers, 3 retires. Let's see. And 2 more guys to go. Freisleben and Downing. How do you spell Freisleben? Let's see here. F-R-E-I. There he is. Good. Brother from another mother of Randy Jones, as they say. Dave Freisleben. 75. 76. 77 is... yeah. Yeah. We're wherever I think we are, and it is... Unfortunately, he does pitch 3 more years. Unfortunately, he does qualify for waivers, though I'm sure the phone, you could put that on mute, I think, because he's not going to get any calls. This is where you can flex him either way. He qualifies for waivers, though he's probably going to be retired because no one's going to want him. Let's just put him in the waiver bin for the moment, because you get more flexibility there. You always want the flexibility to move a waiver into retirement, because you can't, a lot of times, like a guy who retires, you can't put him on waivers because his card doesn't exist. You have to have a Strat-O-Matic card to be on waivers. Gaston doesn't have one. Hegan doesn't have one. Enzo doesn't have one. So these guys have to be retired. So Freisleben goes there, which leaves only Al Downing. Now, he had a nice little run here. 77's his final year. Yankees, Dodgers, among the many. Famous moment against Henry Aaron, of course. We know about that. Finished up with the Dodgers, but it's over for him. That was a 386 ERA card. Yeah, it's over for him as he only pitched 20 innings in 77. And this was kind of what we feared. So the nucleus of the Padres comes back next year, but the cupboard is bare they have to knock the draft out of the park. They got to find 8 guys, either rookies or free agents, because they only have 1 keeper. They got to make some deals to get other keepers. And this is where I said before about Mike Tyson. They might decide to keep him now because they got to make phone calls with the rest of the league. Al Downing's a retiree. Don't like to see 4 retire-onlys, because that really hurts the talent of the overall league here when guys have to be on the retired list. So it's 1, 3, and 4. That's not good at all for the Padres. It might explain why what you just saw was their success that you just saw was an anomaly and not something they can plan on for the future. That's it. The season in the sun for the Padres. Congratulations, San Diego. It was a great run and all that, but time to eliminate the Padres. Thanks for checking out the videos. We'll see you next time.